taken public positions critical of the Chinese Communist Party, or what's commonly referred to as the CCP?
郭先生，你是否曾经公开了对于就是中国共产党，也就是CCP 呢，采取了一个公开的一个立场呢？
是的。
Yes.
And why have you done that?
为什么你这样做呢？
我在1989年中国天安门的民主抗议事件当中呢，由于我资助了当时的学生参与了资助，我被抓进去监狱22个月，同时我弟弟也被他们杀掉了。
During the Tiananmen Square democratic protest in 1989 in China, I funded the students. Because of that, I was arrested, and I was jailed for 22 months, and my younger brother was killed.
作为我的父亲和母亲都是多年被共产党这个残害的，还有我在关押期间看到了很多的当时上抗议的天安门的民主学生都被他们杀害掉了。从此我开始，我发誓我一定要改变和铲除中国共产党。
And since my parents were tortured by the CCP, and during my arrest, I've witnessed that many students, protesters were being killed, and because of that, I've sworn that I need to eliminate the Chinese Communist Party.
Mr. Kwok, in connection with your activities opposing the CCP, have you done and do you do broadcasts in opposition to the CCP?
那么郭先生，因为你这个反对CCP 中国共产党这个立场，你是否做了一些广播主张你这样的反对呢？
我在过去的5年做了5000多次的直接的直播，大概几千个小时，揭发和揭露了中国共产党在全世界的腐败和在新疆的大屠杀，以及在香港的所有的大屠杀，以及他们在美国西方的间谍活动和在西方的侵犯人权的行为。
In the past 5 years, I've made more than 5,000 live broadcasts with thousands of hours of airtime to criticize CCP regarding their corruptions and to expose them to the world. And I also talked about the massacre in Xinjiang and also in Hong Kong and how they conducted spying activities in the West, in US. And human rights violations.
How many people have watched or viewed your broadcasts?
那么有多少人看过你这些广播呢？
几亿人。
I feel tens of millions. Hundreds of millions.
Does being an outspoken public critic of the CCP put you at risk?
那么你作为一个公开的这个 CCP 中国共产党的一个反对者，那么对你来讲是有风险吗？
非常大的风险。
It has a huge risk.
And what are those risks?
这些风险是什么
？2015年1月10号，就是在这个屋里面的 PAS 的合伙人，也是后面2个案子的支付律师费的，在美国注册了的中共的特务吴征给我打电话。
On January 10, 2015, these people behind me, the 2 people who were scared of death, and they also paid the lawyer's fee, by the name of Wu Zhen, he spied on me.
那么我的家人都被抓起来，我的太太、我的女儿也都被抓起来，我的同事很多几百个人被抓起来。并且将我很多家族的资产查封，而且威胁我，如果不和共产党合作，就会被杀掉。
And my family members were arrested, including my wife, my daughter, and hundreds of my colleagues were arrested as well. And my family assets were being seized, and they threatened me that if I don't collaborate with the Chinese Communist Party, they would kill me.
同时呢，这个 Bernard Wu 呢，他的合伙人是一个美国 FBI 的前高官， 是一个调查公司，也是跟这个 PAS 公司合作调查的一个律师事务所。Bernard Wu 同时也参与了美国司法部的 Higginbotham， 还有这个埃利波伊迪、史蒂芬问游说川普总统将我遣返的所有的事情。
The interpreter would like to clarify a few names with the witness.
Sure, go right ahead.
关先生你讲慢一点好不好？
好的。
很多名字，你让你拼一下。你先讲头2句好不好？
就是头2个就是吴征，就是 Bernard Wu，这个曾经他有他的合伙人，一个叫做 CGI 的调查公司，也是 PAS 公司聘用的，所谓这个案子他们的案子的调查公司是吴征的合伙人，同时参与了就是美国司法部一个叫 Higginbotham 的一个对 Higginbotham， 还有美国一个叫史蒂芬问，还有一个叫做埃利波伊迪对游说川普总统对我遣返的所有的事情。
Bernard Wood, he was the former partner of an investigation company called CGI, and he worked with PAF, and also they were involved in this investigation, and also they were. Let me clarify a term with Mr.
Your Honor, I realize that interpretation is being clarified, but we'll interpose an objection as to relevance and non-responsiveness. The question, if memory serves, were what are the risks? And it's not clear at all to me that this answer is responsive to that question or relevant to the purposes of this hearing.
I understand. I'm going to allow this question and the answer, and then we'll move on to the relevant issues for the DIP file.
Your Honor, I couldn't agree more. I was just trying to provide some background, and this was the last question on this topic.
Okay, go right ahead. Now, but may I ask you, the interpreter?
Yes.
There was a name that you said. I don't know if I heard you. Was it Bernard Wu? Is that the name?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Can you just spell that for the court, please?
Let me clarify the spelling with Mr. Guo.
Sure.
Bernard 还是 Bruno？Bruno
Wu.
Bruno, right? B-R-U-N-O 对啊。
是的。
W-U 吴对吗？
对，
姓吴的吴。Bruno Wu.
Bruno.
B-R-U-N-O. Last name is W-U.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kwok.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I haven't finished my translation
Okay, go
already.
ahead.
Apologies.
你刚刚说最后一句，川普总统什么？
这个也就是 PAS 的这个官司也是 Bernard Wu 的合伙人参与调查，他同时也参与埃利波伊迪、史蒂芬问、Higginbotham 司法部案子，游说我遣返我回中国的。
And regarding the PAF case, Bruno Wood partners was also involved, and also concerning the case with Department of Justice about trying to get President Trump to extradite me.
最后我还要说的是，我在过去的5年多次处在极度危险之中，包括有人想窜到我的住处去伤害我很多次，所以我在这里不占用大家时间太多，我没办法说了。
And I would like to say that in the past 5 years, I was in a dire, extreme, risky situation. There were numerous moments where somebody came to my residence and wanted to harm me. And I don't want to take the time to elaborate on that.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Kwok. Let's move on.
好，谢谢郭先生。
Do you have the financial ability to satisfy all of the liabilities asserted against you in this case?
好，那么郭先生，你有没有足够的这个财务的能力去满足就是针对你的这些所有财务的这些申诉呢？
没有。
No.
Are you aware of allegations that you have the appearance of being a wealthy man?
你知道有一个指控，就是说声称你看起来就好像是一个有钱人。
声称。
对，有一个 就是据称大家觉得你看起来就像一个有钱人。
是的。
Yes.
And in this case, you've disclosed that you have very few. Is it true that in this case you've disclosed very few assets?
是真的吗？在这个案件当中，你披露的财产是很少的，是真的吗？ Yes.
Can you explain that contradiction?
你可以解释一下这个对比吗？
我是1989年参与89年6四运动被抓，到2000年我移民到香港，和2015年到现在我发动了消灭中国共产党的运动，成为中国共产党公开的称为我是中国共产党第1号敌人，我是没有可能持有任何资产的。
In 1989, I was arrested during the June 4th movement because I participated in the campaign. And then I emigrated to Hong Kong in year 2000. And then from 2015 till now, I have mobilized campaigns to eliminate the Chinese Communist Party. Therefore, I'm the openly known #1 enemy of the CCP. And because of that, there's no way I can hold any assets.
But sir, you again, I want to come back to my question about the alleged appearance that you have the means to live well, and yet you disclose very few assets. Where are you getting the means to support yourself?
好，那么先生，我再讲一次，就是看起来呢，你是很有钱的。那么好像生活是过得很好的。那么你哪里来到有这样的资源财产去过你的日子呢？
我的情况非常的特殊非常的唯一。由于我要消灭中国共产党，我是这个运动的一个面孔。那么我儿子和我女儿他们都是非常的成功，我的家族生意也很成功。那么由于以上这些非常唯一性的原因，我必须在消灭中国党的运动上代表这个脸面，所以说我家人也很爱我，给我提供了这些生活和开支的帮助，也是我现在这个运动这种特殊性必须的。
Right now, I'm in a very special circumstances. It's very unique. I'm in the face of the campaign to eliminate the Chinese Communist Party. And my son and my daughter and my family business have been very successful. And these are very unique reasons. And my family loves me and they are supporting me with my living expenses. And with the campaign to wage on, that is necessary.
我没有说完。在过去的5年里边，在中国共产党有上千个警察专案组对我家族对我进行了多个的调查。共产党公布了我一系列的所谓的勾线的丑闻各种东西，从来没有公开声称过我拥有任何资产，我拥有任何罪行，从来没有，没有任何证据。
And in the past 5 years, the Chinese Communist Party had conducted multiple investigations against my family and also publicly scandalized me. However, they never said, they never disclosed my assets or cited that I committed any crime.
Mr. Kwok, are you familiar with your request for debtor in possession or DIP financing in this case?
郭先生，你知道在这个案件当中你要求有这个 DIP 这个债务人的这个财务的这个计划吗？OK， 你知道你有要求这个债务人的 DIP 的这个贷款吗？
是的。
Yes.
Okay. And who is the proposed DIP lender?
那么建议的这个借钱的这一方，这个债务的贷款这一方是谁呢？
纽约 Golden Spring。纽约 Golden Spring。
New York Golden Spring.
And let me ask you, what is Golden Spring New York Limited?
好，我问你一下，这家纽约 Golden Spring 这个有限公司是什么呢？
是我儿子拥有的，为家族 开始是为家族在纽约成立的投资和帮助家族在西方帮助家族处理事务的一个公司，投资公司。
This is a company owned by my son. He set up that company to invest in New York and also to help the family and also to handle family affairs in the West.
Okay. And did you assist him in setting up Golden Spring?
那么当初你有帮助你儿子成立这家 Golden Spring 公司吗？
是的。
Yes.
And were any of your funds used to set up Golden Spring?
那么有没有用你的任何资金来成立这家纽约 Golden Spring 公司呢？
我曾经使用被授权管理的我的账号，转钱给金权在纽约的 JP 摩根的账号，帮助建立金权公司。
I was at one point authorized to transfer funds to help Golden Spring and to transfer funds to JP Morgan.
But those funds, strike that. Were those funds yours?
你刚刚讲这些资金是你自己本人的钱吗？
不是的。
No.
Whose funds were they?
是哪些人的钱呢？哪些人资金？
是我儿子的。
My sons.
Do you own Golden Spring?
那么是你拥有 Golden Spring 这家公司吗？
没有。
No.
Do you control Golden Spring?
那你有控制 Golden Spring 这家公司吗？
没有。
No.
Do you work for Golden Spring?
那你有替Golden Spring 公司工作吗？
没有。
No.
Has Golden Spring lent money to you in the past?
那么在过去以前Golden Spring 有没有借钱给你？
有。
Yes.
And for what purpose?
为了什么目的借给你呢？
由于过去几年，我有很多官司，几十个官司被共产党陷害的，我需要大量的律师费用支付。Golden Spring 借给我钱来支付了这些律师的费用。
It was because in the past few years there were many lawsuits, numerous lawsuits from the Chinese Communist Party against me. So I had to get the loan, the borrowings from New York's Golden Spring to pay these lawyers' fees.
Your Honor, may I know I'm parched. May I provide this to Mr. Kwok?
Sure.
Thank you.
好，给你喝这个水。
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Kwok, does Golden Spring pay your living expenses?
好，那么郭先生，你日常的生活的开销是由 Golden Spring 来付的吗？
是的。
Yes.
Why would Golden Spring do that?
为什么 Golden Spring 这样做呢？
这是我现在由于在这个消灭共产党的运动和我没有任何选择，同时是我儿子，他非常的爱我，他也没有任何选择，因为我是唯一的父亲，所以说他Golden Spring帮我了这些开支。
It is because during this time I am in this campaign to eliminate Chinese Communist Party, and of course there's no choice. And at the same time, my son loves me very much. I am his only father, so that's why the company helps me to pay the living expenses.
And are you familiar with Lamp Capital?
你听说过这家叫 Lamp Capital Lamp 资本公司吗？
是我儿子的公司。
That is my son's company.
And do you work for Lamp Capital?
那你有替这家 Lamp Capital 公司工作吗？
没有。
No.
Do you control Lamp Capital?
那么你有控制这家 Lamp Capital 公司吗？
没有。
No.
Has Lamp Capital lent you money in the past?
在过去 Lamp Capital 有没有借钱给你？
是的。
Yes.
For what purpose?
为了什么目的借给你？
在支付100万美元的定金给 BR 律师公司，帮助我来处理法律的事务，破产案子。
Yes, to pay $1 million to BR law firm to handle my bankruptcy case.
Are you aware that certain pleadings have been filed in this case alleging that you have a connection to G Music?
Sorry, counsel, you say G
G,
music?
G Music.
OK，你知道吗？在这一起案件当中呢，发起了几个这个诉状，是指控说这个 G Music 公司呢。
说你跟 G Music 有关系。
OK， 不好意思，我就说，就是说在这个案件当中呢，发起了几个这个诉状，就是指控说你跟这个 G Music 是有关系的。
我是 G Music 的一个义工帮助他们唱歌，就是消灭共产党的所有的歌曲，义工。
I am a volunteer for G Music. I sing many songs about eliminating the Chinese Communist Party for G Music.
And are you, strike that. What is your connection, if any, to Himalayan Exchange?
那么你跟这个喜马拉雅 Exchange 这个交易所有什么关系呢？
我是他的一个顾问和推广者。
I am their advisor and promoter.
And what is your connection, if any, to Getter, G-E-T-T-R?
那么你跟这个 Getter 的关系是什么？
也是，我是他的顾问，还有一个他的一个推广者。
I am their advisor and one of their promoters.
And is the activities that you take in connection with these entities all part of your public opposition to the CCP?
那么你跟这些实体的所做的这些行动呢，是跟关于你公开反对中国共产党有关的吗？
所有的以上说到的公司，都是我和消灭共产党的这个运动的所有的战友们一起来，作为一个推广者和参与者，所有的主题都是为了消灭中国共产党。
Regarding all these companies that have been mentioned, I work with my comrades for the purpose of eliminating the Chinese Communist Party. So I serve as a promoter for that cause.
Do you get paid from any of these entities?
那么这些公司、这些实体有给你钱吗？
没有。
No.
Do you dispute some of your creditors' claims against you?
那么这些债权人对你的这些索赔或指控，你有反对吗？
是的。
Yes.
Prior to this bankruptcy, do you recall being examined under oath in connection with some of the litigations that you're involved with?
那么在这个破产案之前，你是否记得，就是在有些诉讼当中呢，你是宣誓呢，而且你就是来作证呢？
是的。
Yes.
Do you recall invoking your Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination in connection with some of those examinations?
那么你是否记得在这些盘问这些案件的盘问当中呢，你说要求使用这个宪法的这个第5章的这个权利不让自己陷罪呢？
是的。
Yes.
At your recent 341 meetings, did you assert your Fifth Amendment right at all?
那么在最近的341的会议当中，你是否也是沿用了这个第5章宪法的这个权利呢？
完全没有使用。
No, I did not use it at all.
And why is that?
为什么这样呢？
现在由于这个破产案子需要更透明、公平、公开我的财务信息，会更大的帮助解决我和这些债务人的关系。同时，我希望法官和所有的债务权人能了解所有他们需要的信息。所以我要打开所有的一切。
Because with the bankruptcy case, there's a need for more transparency and fairness, and also the fact that disclosing more of my financial information can help handle the relationship with various debtors. So I hope the judge, creditors, and I hope the judge and also all the creditors can know all this information so that we can do it in an open manner.
And I want to return to the the DIP, can you briefly describe how the DIP loan initially was arranged?
好，讲一下这个 DIP 的这个贷款一开始是怎么去安排的？
当我得知南区法院奥斯特克法官对我做出了这个124个 million 的罚款，并要在5天必须支付的时候，我让我的律师和我的儿子来联系，希望他帮助我解决这个贷款的问题。
When I learned that the judge at the Southern District Court imposed a fine of 124 million and asked me to pay it off in 5 days, I asked my lawyer and my son to make contacts to help me to resolve this loan.
And it was that what resulted ultimately in the DIP loan that's before the court today?
那么最后呢，就是导致现在在我们这个法官面前，法院呢就是有这个 DIP 的这个贷款，对吗？
是的。
Yes.
And briefly, what is your understanding of the current proposed terms of the DIP loan?
那据你的理解，现在这个 DIP 的贷款的条款是什么？
贷款的金额是有一个800万，还有100万那个捐款。同时呢，这个800万和100万会优先支付，公平的支付所有的债权人和因这个破产案发生的第三方行政和律师专业的这些费用。
Regarding the loan amount, there is $8 million and $1 million. The $8 million and the $1 million were being prioritized to fairly to pay all the creditors, and also any fees that incurred for other third parties due to this bankruptcy case, such as the lawyers and other professionals. Oh, okay. And to add on to that, and the 1 million is a donation.
And do you understand whether the DIP loan can be paid back before creditors or ahead of creditors? I'm not sure how that translates, but.
那么据你的理解，这个 DIP 的贷款是不是可以就是付债权人之前可以先付这个贷款呢？
不可以。
No, that is not allowed.
Okay. And do you understand whether the DIP loan can be used to fund an examiner if an examiner is appointed in this case?
那么据你所知这个 DIP 的这个贷款能不能用来支付这个审查员？就是如果法院要这样指派一个审查员的时候，可以用这个 DIP 贷款来支付它吗？
可以的。
Yes, that is feasible.
And do you understand whether the DIP loan can be used to pay the creditors committee's professionals in this case?
那么据你所知，这个 DIP 贷款的钱能不能用来支付这个案件当中债权人的委员会的专业人士呢？
是的。
Yes.
And do you understand whether the DIP loan can be used to pay the United States trustee fees that will be due in this case?
那么据你所知，这个 DIP 贷款的钱能不能付在这个案件当中欠美国信贷人的费用呢？信托人，OK， 托管人办公室的费用呢？
可以的。
Yes.
As you sit here today, do you think it's likely that the DIP loan will be repaid?
那么你现在坐在这里，你觉得能偿还这个 DIP 贷款的可能性有吗？
极低。
Very low.
And why would Golden Spring do this?
那为什么？稍等。
Calls for speculation.
I'll allow it.
有一个反对。我重复刚刚的问题。那为什么 Golden Spring 还这样做呢？法官允许这个问题。
Golden Spring 是我儿子拥有的公司，他就这一个父亲，而且是我们的家庭的成长非常的艰难，是在面对一个国家的政权共产党的打压的情况下，他出于他个人和中国这种家庭文化的考虑，和他母亲和我和整个家族的各方面利益考虑，支持我，借给我这个钱，让我不被帕瑟给陷害掉，扔进监狱里给杀害掉。
好的。Regarding Golden Spring, that is a company owned by my son, and he has only one father, and our family has gone through many hardships, and in facing the suppression of the Chinese Communist Party, and also because of his personal considerations and Chinese family values, he wants to safeguard the interests of the family and me and his mother. And otherwise, I would have been thrown into jail and being killed.
Do you know if the $9 million of DIP loan proceeds are now available?
据你所知，现在这个 DIP 贷款的900万的这个资金已经到位了吗？可以用了吗？
我知道昨天已经是转过来了，有没有到律师的监管账号我还不知道。
I know that the money has arrived yesterday, but I'm not sure whether it has landed in the escrow account of the lawyer. Oh, okay. I know that the money has started to arrive yesterday, but I'm not sure whether it has already reached the escrow account of the councils.
Do you believe that any other party that is other than Golden Spring would provide a DIP loan on better terms than are provided here?
Objection. Speculative.
I'm going to allow it, and I'll give it whatever weight I think is appropriate.
好，刚刚的问题是问，据你所知，有没有其他的公司会比起Golden Spring 还会给比这个 DIP 贷款更好的这个条款呢？
没有。
No.
Mr. Kwok, you mentioned an examiner. Do you support the appointment of an examiner in this case?
好，那么郭先生，你之前提到呢有一个审查员，那么你支持在这个案件当中指派一个审查员吗？
是的。
Yes.
And why is that?
为什么呢？为什么这样想呢？
这个案子从第一天到现在，唯一让我感觉有安全感的就是到了这个法庭，也是唯一一次有机会让我在过去的5年当中有坐在这里来讲话。我推翻中国共产党要的就是像今天这里能发生的一样，一个法律的制度。我觉得我了解了美国的法律，这也是我坚定消灭共产党的原因。我觉得这个检察员会公正、公平、透明的、更专业的帮助债权人解决和我的债务关系。
好的。And since the first day of this case till now, this is the only moment that I feel secured, I feel safe, because I have a chance to speak for myself here, and also because my goal to eliminate the Chinese Communist Party, I need the chance to voice, to make noise, and this judicial system provided that platform, and I understand the U.S. legal system, and so that it will offer a chance to have a fair and transparent and more professional ways to resolve my debt issues with the creditors.
If the DIP financing is not approved, do you have any other source to pay the costs and expenses of this Chapter 11 case?
那么如果这个 DIP 的贷款不被批准的话，你有没有其他的方法资源去支付这个11张破产案的这些费用呢？还有开销呢？
开销没有。
No.
Have you filed a proposed plan of reorganization?
那你有没有提交一份建议的这个重组的计划呢？
有。
Yes.
And do you believe having the DIP loan in place is necessary and will facilitate the prosecution or your plan moving forward?
那么你是否认为有了这个 DIP 贷款的话，可以帮助你的这个重组的这个计划呢可以进行呢？
是的。
Yes.
Your Honor, I have no further questions right now on direct. I would ask if it's convenient for the court at some point just to take a short break. I do appreciate Mr. Kwok needs to be instructed not to speak with anyone, and that's fine. I just want to make sure he and I have an opportunity to take a quick break if we may.
Opposing counsel have an objection to that?
Not at all.
Okay, then if there's no objection, that's fine.
好，我们
So
休息
how much time would you like?
Oh, just 5 or 10 minutes, Your Honor.
Well, it's 10 of 3. Would you like to come back at 3?
That would be fine, and I appreciate the courtesy, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, we're going to take a quick recess until 3 p.m.
好，我们休息10分钟，3点
All
钟
right,
回来。
court is in recess until 3.
All right, court is in recess until 3.
Please be seated.
Sorry. Thank you, Judge.
All right, so we can go back on the record after recess, please?
Yes.